Some guy said he was going to goon to me eating in my YouTube stream.
This is a major shift for them that could work out as we head over to our game here, folks. Nemesis first, Dark.
All right, here we go, boys. I'm actually here for this entire match this time.
Dark Zero losing to Nemesis 2-1, and I have.
All right, chat. Who do you think's going to win? Nemesis, Dark Zero. Oh, he's locking Spider-Man.
I think the graphic we showed earlier was the opposite ship. So what if we shift sides right now? You know, what if I'm actually a believer of Dark Zero this whole time?
I spectated Amazing before. I know how good he is, so I think I'm going to go
until game number 1. Right, this map
Dark Zero, bro.
The Chala again is domination. Our first
okay,
map
so
of
Ban Mantis, they're saving Ultron.
From Dark Zero.
This
That's
is interesting.
Change.
They saved Emma. Okay, so the other team protected Luna Ultron. This team protected Emma Ultron.
Curious to see if that is going to impact them.
This should be a very, very interesting.
I think they're both running strip support with Ultron. Yo, Hawkeye?
You and I.
Oh, that's so cheese. They shoot the thing through and then swap.
Chat 50-50 on the points distribution there as to who is going to take this as we start off fight 1. We talk about how important fight 1 is.
Solo Venom. Solo
really set the path for the entire
dude,
series.
Dark Zero is running Jeff Ultron.
We've seen the team line up. Nemesis is going to be running just a more traditional.
I like Dark Zero's team comp better.
And a similar story on the side of Dark Zero.
He already got a kill. Damn.
Early as Ricky finds one, and that's going to put Team Nemesis up on the point a little bit early here.
Yeah, prioritization towards the Phoenix not panning out that first fight just because
you
with
walk
the
in there
damage
for sure, right?
And also with the clap coming out of Ricky, just finding the first pick, that's been a big storyline as well. In the previous series, we saw Nero.
I thought Dark Zero was going to win
on that Luna Snow. Another situation where, good
it's to jinx his team.
Sometimes result in picks, and Dark Zero tries to walk up a bit early, and they're met by Team Nemesis.
Yeah, and this is a good tight hold here, keeping them in that spawn zone. Is going to be showcasing Bucky, who I think is in a very strong place right now.
They almost got it.
Heroes as they walk forward. Melaphobia going to drop back and keep eyes on that Cap, who was trying to make the play.
I feel like I know this guy too. Melaphobia.
32% on for Nemesis, who are still holding on. Medium going to have that alt match right back by Smash. Korova is going to get one back on Ricky.
Wow, they both ulted at the same time.
A little bit, but Craze is going to find velocity.
This is a support character, by the way.
From Amadian. Madara gonna find Dinks to try to even those numbers. Still holding on is the side of Nemesis. Dark Zero gotta make sure they regroup here and retake. Should have a bit of an ult advantage in this next fight. Scatter gonna find Smash and Impunity gotta scatter.
Wow, if he got that kill.
It is crazy that, by the way, everybody kind of actually eventually going down in terms of Madara, but you still have Impunity here on the point on Captain America with Korova. I mean, that's kind of the play as well, as you kind of want to constantly poke on the Jeff, and I think Korova's actually doing a good job at doing that, sort of just being a nuisance, but right now Nemesis still in control of that point. They understand they can slow it down, forcing out the break of the terrain, allowing those walls to now come up, but these dives are going to be eventually forcing out strat results from Nemesis or from Dark Zero, and there's Korova with the Jeff. It's Jeff.
Korova just trying to hold on.
How did he just get up from there?
Found much. Madara gonna start the psionic craze. Gonna take out.
I thought the Jeff just got stuck down there.
Pick early velocity. Gonna use that Eternal Bond to hold on. 90% here for the side of Nemesis, who are doing a great job staying calm under pressure. Right, amazing. And you're ready to use that supernova towards the back line. Great positioning there by the strategist. Does not matter as Ricky goes down. Right, amazing. Putting them back up. Impunity gonna find Melaphobia now, and it looks like Dark Zero might get control at this point, up in numbers.
It's definitely a bit messy at the current moment as Nemesis sort of stall it out, right? No Stratus ultimates except the Median, and he actually decides to commit the ult. They also find one onto Korova yet again, but it's shut down to the backside from Scatter. Median now trying to keep also his Venom alive. Overtime ticks down. You still have that, torch on the point in the neutral. That's going to force off Team Nemesis. So right now, they're heading back to spawn, 99% on the board. Dark Zero also committed basically everything in the previous fight. Nemesis, we'll see what happens, right? Sometimes you can kind of get caught overextended. For Nemesis, they have to walk in now with ultimate advantage and fully take advantage.
I mean, Dark Zero has no ults.
But Dark Zero, they have so many basic heroes with Captain America, with Jeff, with the torch, right? The only real person that you can sort of target has been Madara and Korova, actually. Because
Amazing's at 70% on his ult again.
We'll see how they play this upcoming fight with Dark Zero. They need to find a pick early, and they do. Or they don't.
Yeah, Nemesis is going to find one. I mean, Nemesis up in ults. This is the fight for them to win, to take this right back. A lot of commitment there from Dark Zero to make sure they got that point, which, is is necessary in that moment, but now heavily down in all, says we're going to see 4-5 here. From
this
side of
guy's
Team
on
Nemesis.
controller on Ultron in the Pro League.
For
That's
Dark
sick.
Zero in this fight. So can Nemesis take this back and pull the first map through? Craze going to find velocity instantaneously in this fight. Here comes the portal and Madian on a smash. Ricky on a Rhyme.
I think
That
Nemesis
should be
got it
enough
right here.
as the numbers are dwindling. 55% for Dark Zero. It is already in a dangerous position for them, but out
That's a
goes
big
the
cloak
Eternal
call.
from velocity to try to keep them in this fight. That all is going to buy some time, and Aphobia goes up. Down goes the Kraken impact immediately. Jeff going to find a few. Madian going to take out Kurova, and that's going to shut that down quickly, though, as they are still maintaining this pressure. Nemesis doing a great job staying patient. Madara going to find Dinks, though. Scatter. Smash onto Ricky. Now Dark Zero is bouncing back from this. Scatter onto Smash. It's a trade back and forth. 82%. I can't believe Dark Zero.
Yo, that cap ult may change this game. Hold up.
Yeah, I mean, Dark Zero is sort of holding on by the skin of their teeth, like you said. I mean, just constantly allowing their duels to pop off, right? It's really relying heavily on mechanical play rather than ultimates. I feel like the ult timing was a little off there from Dark Zero, right? Kurova getting picked after the HDF. Ryan Amazing not able to find eliminations because they layered on ultimates onto a Lunasto dance floor. But Nemesis, they're trying to just win out here just through ultimate advantage. We'll see if they can close out with that Ultron's Rage.
Phobia going to find impunity, and that's a start here for the side of Nemesis. Up a number very low. There's a Madian and Craze who are able to escape. Phobia with another pick there on a Madara, and that could be enough for Nemesis. But I have said that before.
That was damn
Dark
close,
Zero has
bro.
clutched up in the moment. A Madian, and they're not able to get back on. Good pressure there.
That was a really good game.
And Nemesis is up one map.
Nemesis had it
this
much
is what we
earlier,
talk about,
and then Dark Zero got a couple
about,
picks.
Individual play versus overall team cohesion, right? Nemesis, I think, showing on that map that they sort of, we're sure they're getting picked off by Rhyme Amazing sometimes, right? He has nearly 15,000 damage. It's tough to deal with that, but if you play consistent, if you play heavily as a unit around, this Bucky, around having triple Shredder's line, it can definitely work out for you, right? In playing around
Adam Warlock,
too.
Ultron,
I think
and
these
Loki,
things are enabling them. And Dark Zero, like we saw with Kurova getting picked sometimes. Same thing on the backside from Madara. I think that they're relying heavily on mechanical play at the current moment, and it can work out. It makes sense with Human Torch and how strong he is. But for Team Nemesis,
I mean, geez, you wonder why everyone's running trip support in the top ranks right now. All the pro teams are running trip support, man.
Jeff, and then also the Human Torch, and then coming back in the upcoming fight with ultimate advantage. So Nemesis trying to play that consistent game really well. Now they go to Warrior Falls. Team Dark Zero, are they going to change anything up? They put velocity over to that Loki on the backside, as well as keeping Rhyme Amazing on that torch.
Wow.
Oh, and we see a Kraken impact off the rip. Make that 2 as Impunity
Oh my
goes down.
God.
Make it 3. Mellophobia is going to walk them back to the door to give them this point really early on in this fight. Rhyme Amazing trying to get some pressure out there, but it will not be enough.
That was Mantis ult too, right?
Go to the side of Nemesis.
Yo, I don't know why Dark Zero would go Loki into this Bucky.
Holding on to that MVP so
kinda
far,
wild.
13-0 after map 1. Damage boosted there by Dinks. That combination at this level.
again, I'm not a pro. You know what I'm saying,
huge
chat?
threat, and that's why you see that banning. At least one of the 2 banned out, typically in the ban phase. But wow, Nemesis, great job in that early fight. Well done again by Mellophobia.
Yep, understand the wicked addition of the Kraken impact, and now in this upcoming fight, Dark Zero just early commit of the Supernova. That's a huge ult to remove if you don't lose anybody too, but Ricky can fall so low. If they could find at least a pick here, that'd be massive, but they don't, and they're disengaged.
Wow.
Mellophobia snipes down Smash.
And the Eye of Agamotto goes out by Madara, does not find too much purchase. Rhyme Amazing gonna get a pick though. Out we go with the Meteor Ram, trying to find
The Loki tried to act like a clone.
Pretending to be a clone, not a horrible idea, but does pay for it as Nemesis Scatter. Great focus and patience, understanding that one of those 3 had to be the Loki, and still going to make that happen, waiting for those crystals to be burned. Madian going to put some damage out. Scatter going to find another, and at this point, Dark Zero is going to have to reset as Rhyme Amazing is down, and they will start the fight again.
If I was a gambling man, it looks like I'm losing this bet. I thought Dark Zero was going to win this series because I saw Rhyme Amazing. We'll say if I knew that was Call of Duty, Ricky, I might have changed my tune.
Ults, right? No rhyme or reason to them, just kind of committing ults early, and now in this upcoming fight, again, the game plan, go aggressive with Ultron's Rage, pans out with velocity, picked yet again, and Dark Zero getting caught with their pants down, nearly 70% of the board. I mean, that's not good for the mental game, to go all the way back to the spawn and lose impunity. You now have 70% on the board, they still have ults ready to go. Maybe you come back in with that copy on velocity on the Loki, but right now, I mean, they're looking a little lost. Amazing now onto that Phoenix to change up once again over to that
that
hero.
could be a caster,
I mean,
Jeff.
we'll see in this upcoming fight. They've relied heavily on individual game mechanics. We'll see if that can pan out for them yet again.
I still don't understand Loki into this Bucky. I just don't get it.
And that's another pick by
Bro, this guy's eating the team, bro.
Is finding these early fight picks, and Bucky, that's just the kind of presence Bucky can put out at this moment, holding on to that Kraken impact once again. Likely going to be damage boosted here, trying to find some presence on point as we see Impunity just trying to hold on. Bang goes the tackle into Melophobia, but still going to be able to escape. Up in the sky, we've got Smash trying to deal some damage onto the back line. Amazing going to take out Melo and scatter onto Impunity. Back and forth there. Melophobia falls, and so does Impunity. They are still maintaining this presence on the point, but at this point, it's looking like Nemesis is up once more as Madian takes out Amazing.
Yeah, Rye was drawing eyes off, but two members of Team Nemesis came back to peel for him, and now they have Ultron's Rage. Ayabagamota comes out, only connects on the Ricky,
really good
but
kill.
It might be enough. They find one. He also has the drone from his Ultron at the back line. They're keeping him alive, but eventually he falls, and here comes a Meteor Ram.
Oh, good idea there, looking towards the sky, and here goes Melophobia. Dink's gonna find Smash. Nemesis coming back after losing one to the eye, and still gonna be maintaining numbers.
He's gonna get a reset.
Bang, that's gonna be huge under the back line. Resets off those clones for days. Might as well keep using it as the Kraken impact is still flowing. Gonna be on this cap very shortly. Bang onto the cap, but cap goes back to the portal. Good play. Back into the spawn door. If you see a portal like that,
he get a reset? He's still going.
Get healed up and come right back. Melophobia on a Smash though. Still has this Kraken impact. Why not?
Oh my God!
Goodbye, Madonna.
Oh my God!
Set off those clones. It's indefinite. This Kraken
Oh
impact.
my God!
Here, Forest Scatter takes out Amazing. And at this point, it's Nemesis' game to lose. They look like they cannot be stopped. Another Kraken impact. Are you kidding me?
Nah, that's one of those ults you see in the damn bronze lobby. Holy! Oh, I literally,
like you see,
I would just like to say, I literally said, I don't know why they're running Loki into this Bucky. Like, when they swap that literally...
For the Loki, they make it look even more disgusting with all those resets that you mentioned. And yeah, I mean, that was well played around the whole team, around the Ultron. You didn't
that was crazy. That was like a... Chad, that was a... He just did that in the pro match. That's a Bucky... That's like a clip you see in, like, gold.
As well to Bucky, getting the buffs in the previous patch, right? Getting out 2 of his E's. You know, those things slow you down, too.
He had 14 final hits, bro.
Honestly, I don't know about you, Shit, but it feels like Bucky actually counters Cap even harder than the likes of Phoenix or even Torch, right? This character just shuts down so many heroes.
I'm gonna lose.
And then on the backside,
I thought Dark Zero was gonna win, bro.
Same thing with the Madian. I mean, beautiful play from the whole team, and that's why you want to play around that consistent team play in Ultimates, like you mentioned, Shib, and you just kind of end up in situations like this where Dark Zero is just relying heavily off of individual play, and it just doesn't pan out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point about shutting down Dive, and one of the big benefits here recently to Bucky is the ground on the punch. Bucky now has another resource to make sure Dive cannot escape, so making sure you have that punch ready too, it just absolutely shuts down that move, and you got to make sure if you're trying to make a play that you know where Bucky is at all times, but when you're just trying to stagger to get to point like that, there's not much
that Ultron went 30-0.
Starts rolling under
I just saw
like that, you are doomed. So once again, really well played by the side of Nemesis, who looked dominant there on map 2 of game 1.
Yeah, and this is the problem, I think, with specifically banning out duelists, right? We saw the Namor sort of pseudo-ban come through with the Hulk removal. But, like, yeah, like, regardless, if you ban out Namor, if you ban out Torch, if you ban out Phoenix, you're left. Now, in this case with Bucky, and he's still good. So there's too many options in the duelist side, right? And we talk about how the reason why I think strategist bans are so good is not only because strategists sort of, so many of the ones that are banned these days are sort of also duelists, right? In terms of Mantis, Jeff, Ultron, Adam Warlock, they're getting more options as well, right? With the constant changes to strategists to allow them to be played.
Wow, that was so well played right there.
Less options there. Also, maybe forcing some flexibility out of the strategist is a little bit of a better idea. Regardless, at the current moment, being left with Bucky, Shib, I can't imagine you feel too bad about that, right? Considering what we've seen out of Melo.
Clearly, you know, you give the Ultron drone to Melophobia, you just allow him to just go to town. As we're seeing the replay here, I couldn't even count how many times we saw the KO feed.
2 minutes of that,
yeah, exactly. Cracking impact for literal days. And Madian, though.
I mean, dude, the fact that guy went 30-0 is actually insane.
I mean, off the rip, I think we saw 14-0 in the first round. I wanted to make sure I called some attention to that. 30-0 at the end. If you're ever wondering why you see bans of these two heroes when it comes to Mantis and Ultron at the high level, here is a good example of why.
Chad, do not say the word learn Squirrel Girl. What do you mean learn Squirrel Girl, bro? I could give Squirrel Girl to Kevin, and he could probably get a kill, man. He's a stuffed animal.
There's a good chance we see triple Vanguard come through.
Yeah, and I'm curious,
Squirrel Girl, bro. What are you guys talking about, man?
Answer the give you a solution into Ultron. I know teams can still run Ultron without the Mantis damage boost, but typically for what we've been seeing in these more world-focused events is, when the play gets that high level, if you ban Mantis, a lot of the time Ultron kind of it follows suit as we see Mantis.
I mean, they're definitely saving Ultron
there from either side.
Yep, Mantis and Eludus Snow Protect is available, but I mean, yeah, right now, Dark Zero, changing it up immediately. I want to see how this kind of continues, right? Because just because you do one thing in the ban phase doesn't mean that you'll constantly shift it over. And like we said, we've seen also on this map, you have to think about it from a map-to-map basis, right? We know on Spider Islands, a lot of teams like to play triple Vanguard, triple strategist. That is a strategy that is very viable. Nemesis on their side, banning out Mantis and Ultron because the Luna Snow Protect comes through. But regardless, now that we have Nemesis on defense, there's more than likely going to be that sort of rocket comp. I think there's something to be said, by the way, for banning out, specific strategies for maps, right? We know Triple Vanguard's good to know. Dark Zero's banning out Phoenix. Yet again, Shib, we might have the duelist priority again from Dark Zero come through in the ban phase.
Yeah, I mean, but proceed with what you're saying. You think, I mean, because I can kind of follow up in that. I agree that certain maps, certain bans make a ton of sense. I mean, I've always been of the mind
ban. Can't they save him there, though?
But in ladder, there's certain maps where a strange ban doesn't hurt, where you can guarantee.
Like, can't they save Ultron right here?
With strange.
Or is that not how that's not how that works? Oh, so they just got rid of Ultron right off rip. What the hell are they going to save then?
Definitely can change depending on the map.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I think going for map-specific bans and maybe getting rid of targets that could take down your triple Vanguard.
Well, Jeff is good on this map. That's a good play.
On their side could be a good idea, but now for Nemesis, they got rid of Mantis. They protect Jeff. They know Dark Zero really isn't banning Mantis. They're doing this sort of banning out the duelist thing. Did they want to go against the Namor? Did they want to go against the Torch because that was a ban last time? They've already banned out Star-Lord to prevent that triple spin to win sort of idea that Kaluj brought up, and this time it's the Hulk.
And
Hulk
we're never going to see a Hulk in the pro scene, bro.
They are as well. Nemesis can also play that Hulk Namor comp. I don't even think they were originally intending to, regardless, right? They already have that Jeff. They already have that Luna Snow. They're going to play that triple strategist comp. It made sense for the Star-Lord because it's
Jeff
very
too.
Good with that
That's
comp.
smart.
But,
Jeff is so good on this map.
Lucky when you leave
Makes
the
sense.
Torch open, I guess that could maybe force them to play Torch without the Ultron. Maybe force them to play that character without a little bit of healing. They go for the Namor ban on that opposite side instead of a Hulk as their last ban. But yeah, now we have Emma going through for both teams. This is going to be an interesting matchup, and we already know Triple Vanguard on defense is always a mainstay for Team Nemesis.
So the bans work differently here, right, Chad? So this is per team, correct? So like Red could run. No, I'm sorry. Blue could run Hulk, right? Technically, because it's per team. Because Red banned Namor. Is that accurate?
If it was elected to be played, it looks like it might be, but
no.
We will see shortly as they set up. But Spider Islands,
so it's for both teams.
A pretty good Jeff map too. If you're going to run that triple, it's not a horrible idea to pull Jeff out because Jeff can get full team wipes virtually at any angle. There's a ton of off-map potential here.
For sure. Yeah, this map is one of them. I know you talked about Angelo.
No, so I'm right then, right? So the other team could play Hulk if they wanted.
Spider Islands, like second.
So my chat's wrong. Wow, who'd have seen that coming, boys?
It's tough because
Chad, I think someone should lock Spider-Man and try to pull someone off, dude. Which team will win map 2? Based on what I just saw, I'm going to go ahead and say Nemesis. And I'm going to lose my bet.
Shield gain and stuff is great and all, but realistically,
I think the bans are per team, so it's a little bit different.
I know there's a lot of people maybe looking out for that character. I know I am specifically, so we'll see if it makes its appearance today in North America. But right now, we had the triple strategist, triple Vanguard comp on defense.
Yeah, but it's not as close. I think the team just kind of took off from the right side door, and that's not a horrendous idea for the side of Dark Zero. I kind of like that thought process.
Amazing is on Magic.
There's a ton of pressure already from the side of Scatter under Impunity, who does find a way
did you ever
out.
think you would see a Jeff Loki healing composition in a pro match? Did you ever think that? Because here we are.
Smash gonna find 3 with this thing as Ricky, Amadian, and Dinks go down from the side of Dark Zero, doing a good job. Ryan Mazing on the Magic, who finds 1. Velocity, Ryan Mazing again. Ryan Mazing once more with the 3-piece on the Magic. Magic, showcasing how Magic can be incredibly strong. And we had a discussion with Rye about Magic, who had mentioned that, Magic's actually really good into these triple vanguards. It's, you really, the hitboxes are large, allowing you to make these more aggressive combination plays. And they're going to try to portal out the team here just to buy some even more time here on the attack. So Dark Zero coming out with a new strategy and finding a way through that triple off the rip.
Yeah, I mean, they knew that portal was coming through from Team Nemesis, so they just go height to come back through. But like you said, yeah, I mean, that play from Smash to go in, Ryan as well on that Magic is looking solid, especially with the buffs that she got recently. Now it comes through the backside. Takes down Ricky, the Darkchild, and Dinks.
Damn, bro.
3, almost 4 there for Ryan Amazing, finding another multi-KO. Just popping off here as he find another pick as Scatter goes down. Ryan Amazing on the Magic. I'm sure Magic mains everywhere are rejoicing, putting on an absolute clinic here with the Darkchild.
Yeah, I mean, they ban out the Star-Lord as well to give Smash that constant pressure alongside Ryan Amazing. He can go for the dives with him alongside Impunity. And if this continues,
I've seen enough nerf Spider-Man.
His composition could potentially get countered. At the current moment, like you said, Dark Zero's pace has been beautiful. The dives are coming through. This is looking like a brand new team today, and Dinks goes down early again.
Wow.
Impunity with a 2-piece, both. Oh my goodness, Ricky goes down as well. What a play. Scatter gonna find Korova. Amazing back on a Melophobia. Still keeping that pressure. Dark Zero, Impunity onto Scatter. And they're walking even more, getting a ton of free space here in every single fight. Just playing so aggressively and not committing too many ultimates. This looks like a team that has awoken. Bruce Banner to Hulk. Dark Zero is showing up right now. 4 minutes on.
Yeah, this is beautiful from Dark Zero. We'll see if their dives are, as fast-paced when Nemesis have ultimates, because there is 6 in the book for Team Nemesis, right? But sometimes you can have almost too many riches, right? And at the moment, Smash goes in the sky, does force out that Dinksel, and, you'll take that on Nemesis' side. If now you come up with a silent introduction, do you connect on anybody, though? It looks like it's disengaged pretty well from Dark Zero, except Velocity went down.
Melophobia is gonna find 2 with the Jeff, taking the
that's a Team Nemesis fight win right there, gentlemen.
Shoving them back into the spawn door. Korova and Velocity gonna reset with the team.
I can't lie, watching Ryan Amazing do that just made me think maybe I should just learn Magic instead of Wolverine. Thoughts?
With 3 ready for this next fight, we'll see Ryan Amazing, if that, available for this next attack. So good retake by Nemesis, still holding on to ult advantage, and they do not want point 2 to go to the side of Dark Zero. It's a very defensible position.
Yeah, unless specific members are feeding on the side of Team Dark. Oh, Maiden gets grabbed, but no.
Oh my God.
Into the sky and back down. Madara goes down to a Kraken impact and disengaged from Team Nemesis. After they went aggressive with the Luna Snow dance floor, results in that elimination. Good work to take down Madara, because that's a large part of their anchor.
That's a big kill for Rye right there.
One after another. Actually, no, sorry. Melo goes down because he went aggressive on Jeff.
Yeah, and that can't happen again. The momentum shifting right back as we see Ryan Amazing with another pick on Ricky. Will they keep this going? Nice shot there by a Median to shut down Ryan Amazing before the train.
This guy's on controller, by the way. This dude's Smash chat.
Still have a slight.
He's literally on controller on Star-Lord, which is kind of insane.
And Velocity potentially this next fight, and all we'll see from Nemesis is Craze and Dink. So advantage still up for Dark Zero on the attack as they're coming close to point 2. Everybody just regrouping as a team, waiting for the 6-stack fight, as you should. As we begin again, another early pick. That's 2 as Smash and Ryan Amazing go down. We hear Jeff go under from the side of Korova, but that might be a little bit too much of an overcommitment after losing too many. And they are going to try to find an off angle, and they do fall after the fact.
Yeah, I don't think I've really seen a good ultimate out of Korova today, unfortunately. It felt tough, right? Because he keeps using it early alongside he had the help from Impunity. We actually swap on over. Yeah, it's Smash going over to the Jeff now. Korova going over to a strategist. They maybe want to build up another ultimate quickly. That's interesting to make that swap of Melo over the high ground. Has been going for these ults like middle of the fight when it's sort of hard to look for that Jeff.
Wow, what a play that was. The Venom lined up the ult with the Jeff flanking behind him. That was clean.
This is looking a lot like the last map right now in the Streets phase. It's been, Nemesis taking over after that snowball from Dark Zero, and they're switching up their composition now.
Yeah, I think we need to draw attention to the fact that Nemesis has been up in ult every single ending of these fights, and that is a team that understands just making sure that even though they're down in momentum, they do not overcommit, and that is so important at this level of play. Ults are so valuable, so if you overcommit on a fight that, as we just saw there with Jeff, unfortunately lost the fight, and you commit with Jeff ult, that's just so much of a downside. Oh, as we see Jeff gonna find 2 from Melophobia. Can they get off the map? He does find 2 with a decent trade there on Korova and Ryan Amazing. So well done by Melophobia. Dink's gonna find Velocity, and Nemesis once again.
Ricky's getting the Luna ult here.
Are roughly even in ults.
Yeah, you can see Dark Zero is a little off base with each other, right? Velocity commits the ult. They're also getting staggered now with Madara, and man, this looks bad. Like, it was going so well. Now on the backside, Smash as well, just trying to distract at least in the backside, maybe buy some time. But if he were to get staggered, this could be really bad for Dark Zero. Right now in the last fight, you saw Velocity commit that dance floor. They tried to go forward, but the team left behind because everybody was still caught by Scatter and that Sonic Seduction. So at the moment, Nemesis playing the ults like you mentioned, Jib, earlier so well. Mello comes back through. Amazing finds Kraz. This is their way back into it like it was in other maps, though. Individual play.
And we'll start the next fight. We're getting down to final fight, 10 seconds on, and the ults are roughly even. We'll see almost the same throughout the progression of this fight. It's all about this first pick. As we see a dive early on, and we see Impunity gonna pop the Feast of the Abyss. Does that find any success? Damage boost goes out. Ricky gonna ult up. Praise getting ready for the combination. The Venom does take out Velocity early for Dark Zero. Amazing finds Dane, so Craze is gonna take out Impunity. Scatter on a Madara. A Median on a Amazing. Nemesis up heavy in all, or not only in ults but in picks, and that should do it for them as they hold on to point 2.
Oh my God! I mean, Smash the last.
Yo, what up, Guru?
Unfortunately, that
Guru, you in this tournament, bro?
Phoenix and Magneto, you know, with that combination of the Ensong Inferno, removing all
you in this Ignite series
down with that Meteor M for a one shot. But you know, unfortunately, what happens is when you're in a situation with those two ultimates,
Ricky's bringing out Lord Angela.
You know, maybe being in the middle of a fight where you have teammates still alive.
You play tomorrow?
But,
who do you play for, Guru?
Unfortunately for Dark Zero, I
don't know how much I'm going to watch tomorrow. Like, there's a part of me that wants to, but it's also like
already gone.
I knew I was going to watch
you commit
pretty late today.
Pretty much when the fight was already lost.
RID.
So you have to touch, you have to.
Isn't someone else on that team I know?
You can't find anything with that Meteor M. Sure, you find at least one on Amazing side, but oh man, brutal.
You guys are 7:30 Eastern tomorrow.
Okay. I mean, Shib, Dark Zero. It just felt like at a certain point ran fully out of momentum, right?
Yeah, I mean, they walked through. They had 4 minutes on.
Got Amazing on Rocket. They're running goats at the start again.
You know, I mean, it's incredible defending at that point to hold on.
Oh, you guys got. You got Gilbert, BTS, and Gale. I know, like that whole team.
I mean, especially what it was strange.
I know you.
Typically on this map, you just play right
Gilbert,
on the cart if you're defending.
BTS, and Gale.
But it was weird because the
I hope you guys win, man. I'm testing out, doing some watch parties a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
And they kind of just
see how I feel, see what chat thinks.
So I'm curious, I'm curious if that's going to be different. Just play on the card. It doesn't matter if they play behind you as long as you're standing on that card and it doesn't move. So a unique strategy. It ended up working out on the attack, but I'm sure we're going to see something different here on the defense. I'll try to make it happen there with the throw out of the Wolverine with Melophobia, but Craze and Melophobia could not make that work, but a great idea towards the back line there.
Yeah, difference of opinion too. I mean, great
running 2-2-2 right now against Goats.
We saw Nemesis on their attack go for backline first. In this case, looking for Groot with that Wolverine pulled off though. Yet again, you can see why Invisible Woman's so strong, but not strong enough to say Groot in that fight. Unfortunately, with the damage output from that Storm alongside the Wolverine, and they just walk through now after they find another member. The res coming out too late. Nemesis walked this cart forward. Everybody else went the cart to the lane now for a little bit longer.
Yeah, this is more of a traditional attack through triple composition. You'll see something like the Wolverine. You'll see the Storm damage boost. Amadian doing well there too. Typically, you might see like a Moon Knight or a Punisher to help pressure through something like Groot, but they elected to just stick to the Wolverine Storm, which I don't think we've seen a combination of too much yet. Smash going to find Ricky, though, on the defensible side of Dark Zero on the retake, and this is what you want to see on triple. You want to take this fight right here by the bridge with a portal, so great job there to buy more time. Amadian going to come in now on the attack with the Hurricane. Will this find value? Is going to put a lot of pressure out. Melophobia going to find Kurova on their attack. They're still moving right amazing with the res, though. And that was a very aggressive BRB over there on the right side. Scatter going to find right amazing. 2-3 on a Kurova and Velocity. Scatter showing up in that moment. Make it 4. Why not almost 5 as they keep this train
rolling. This Mellow guy's kind of him, huh?
Damn. And this is like that envy game we saw last. You know, Kurova's so close to that invisible boundary.
I love that they're running Storm with the Wolf to buff the damage of the Wolf, right? That's so smart.
In this fight. Did you take
especially because they know they're running Goats.
That's what we're going to learn right now as we have 2 minutes in the last phase of the map.
Nice big fight
Yeah,
right here.
I don't think they're going to be able to retake the touch. They do get someone on holding at the moment. As, they are able to commit with the touch. Ryan Mason going to rest up velocity. We see an early pick
bro
again
did not just solo.
Oh my goodness. Immediately going to find Ryan Mason smash onto Jinx. The last stand finds one, but it is mashed right back. Numbers roughly even, I believe.
Yo, bro,
at the
that was disrespectful.
We're down one. I still think they're holding here for the side of Dark Zero, but they are going to have to drop back very low now. We will see them walk through as Nemesis.
He was already, he already had the kill, man. So he's probably going to swap now, right? Because they're going to swap off goats. So a lot of pro teams run goats on that first point. That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
Visible boundary, and we move into the second phase of the map with nearly 4 minutes. Dark Zero, they got to figure something out, man. It's felt really hard, I think, for this back line from Dark Zero, and it's because, the damage boost numbers are just too much from Amadian. Mellophobia.
I don't know who the IGL is on Nemesis, but they're making really good calls and really good swaps.
Maybe to find impunity on these dives as well on that Venom, but now we're basically in one fight territory, Shib. So you have to play perfect right now for Team Nemesis.
That was a good kill on Ricky.
Dark Zero.
Ryan Mason going to find Ricky and Dark Zero. They talk about playing perfectly. They get another, but it's matched right back by Crazy and Scatter. Crazy with another on a Kurova. A ton of value here with the Venom. Out we go with the Hurricane. Amadian on a Madara. Walking right back towards the point. And they are going to keep this pressure as Nemesis. 4 minutes at the start. Still turning the corner with 3. Mellophobia going to try to find this pick on Impunity. Great drop back there to reset with the team and to not get picked. Oh, Mellophobia almost gets Jeff there. Velocity onto Amadian now.
I think he's dead. Like Mello. Oh, great heals. Wow.
They keep it going. Last time it was matched right back by Nemesis. The alts are even at this point. Now
slept the Venom ult. Wow.
Trying to use the Feast of the Abyss. If you didn't catch that frame trying to head to the floor, it gets canceled out. So well done by...
Oh my God, they're gonna kill Jeff.
He's gonna get 2 right back onto the Jeff. Amadian divine smash, Scatter on a velocity, and they are keeping this momentum. And there goes Madara. That's 2, 3, 4 as they keep it. Oh my goodness, Mellophobia is popping off on this.
This guy's insane.
Yeah, they could even CC Madara on spawn, who's going to come back with the portal. Ensong Inferno is here, but I mean, for what, next series, next map? We'll have to find out as we now have 2.37 meters left. The old Kurova gets picked again, and you talked about the last map, this Kraken impact just going off forever. It might happen
someone
again.
drug test this guy.
2.
Yeah, I mean, they are looking dominant. There goes the portal.
This guy Mellophobia, bro. Someone drug test him.
And Impunity. This Bucky has just been uncontested in these maps, just doing so much work. Amadian on a Kurova.
I mean, he's literally farming.
One on a Craze, but at that point, it's a little too late, I believe, as Madara falls 2 dinks on a Amazing. And wow, Nemesis, after that first map on Dom, have been just absolutely keeping it together here. And here we go once more with the Hurricane out for Amadian. Ton of damage outmatched by the boundary from Kurova, keeping them in the fight.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, they're still here, but now they're all caught by Scatter. Scatter goes low. Does the healing keep him alive? It's only on Impunity, who is doing a great job stalling the point, and somehow they might still be in it. They lose Impunity finally, but I have Okamoto! Oh my God!
Oh my God, no way!
Velocity to Madara with a huge eye velocity on a Scatter. Madara on a Craze, and what a retake here for the side of
Yo, I thought that was game. I thought that was wraps.
A minute on left.
Wow.
They can take this. Wow, Dark Zero with the retake.
Who's the Sue, bro?
What a stall.
That ult from Kurova literally saved that, the Sue ult.
This is the worrisome part for
Venom used his ult on point, and then Kurova used her ult to save him.
Game, but it could be risky now. Damage boost on the Mellow, looking back for Smash, who's just trying to take eyes off. He's been doing good at that, but they lose velocity, and Kurova both backline gone.
Amadian and Scatter off the rip once more. Goodbye to 2 strategies for the backline of Dark Zero.
So
that makes this fight nearly impossible.
Ricky's dead
but
too.
They did make it work last time. Madara now going to find Ricky.
Jeff
trying to trade a little bit of that strategist takedowns, and here we go with Jeff. Will this get value from Smash now, who is able to find one? Going to stay on the pool to stay healthy, and no, not it.
Wait, that was crazy though. He kept Amazing alive. He ate his own teammate, but is that enough? The Res brings back Smash. They lose Madara. Amadian's here with the damage onto Impunity too.
Yeah, Amadian with a 2-piece here on the Nemesis, still walking them forward. Here we go with the Hurricane right onto the point.
That might be the game.
Just shut this down quickly. Down goes Smash. Not much you can do. That's 2, and that will take him through.
Hell of dude. Dark Zero almost did that at the end, bro.
And the series Nemesis showing up in that moment.
That was a crazy little last push there, man.
What a series. What an end, man. In that second phase of Spider Islands, it feels like second phase Spider Islands is always cinema because of how the defense is favored with those spawns being so close, and then also the only reason I feel like we were in that very end is because of Smash and because of Impunity, right? We were seeing those dives come through with the Venom, right? Nemesis
that was fun to watch, bro. That was really well done.
Beautiful.
Okay.
But you know, when Smash saves his teammate,
bro,
with the
Mello went
very,
47-7 again. This guy Amadine also popped off, bro.
Also taking
that
eyes
team is
away
good.
from
that Nemesis team is really good. Wow.